Hi, I'm Yadara Akfan.
And I'm Shane O'Neill. Welcome to this edition of JVTV News. There's been a lot of excitement around JV lately, and most of it is because of homecoming week.
Of course, the game, the mums, the pep rally, everybody is just so pumped. Brittany Isaacs has more on the spirit-filled week.
The school is saturated with purple and gold. Smiles fill the school. The hype of the school spirit cannot be any higher.
Go Falcons!
And it's all because it's homecoming week. The exciting week starts off with the dress-up days. Animal Day, Decade Day, Superhero Day, Disney Day, leading up to Purple Out, a sea of prideful purple and gold Falcons. And to pump up this spirit-filled week, Falcons hold their annual homecoming parade in which the entire city of Jersey Village participates in.
Oh, it's great. A lot of live, crazy candy throwing, excited kids, good school spirit.
Clubs get an opportunity to strut their stuff by decorating their floats, led by the Grand Marshal, followed by the homecoming court.
I think it's great. We have the community out here, as they are every year. We have the kids getting together in their groups dressed the same. It's not conformity as it is group love. It's awesome. I can't wait to be a part of it all.
The final Friday of the game, students dress in purple and gold, showing their ultimate pride for our fighting Falcons. Between the jingling of the mums, the loud cheers from the excited students, it's easy to tell that everyone is excited for the game.
The homecoming game is not like any other football game. The stands are completely filled. The football players are thrilled than ever, and most importantly, the homecoming king and queen are announced.
After the lights die down and the crowd leaves, the Falcon pride remains in the air. Homecoming is not only a football game and a school dance, but also part of the JV tradition. Brittany Isaacs, JVTV.
It's that time of year again. You finally get to order your leather jacket and ring.
You know, I actually have some friends that aren't even going to order them. Joy Travis gives us the details.
As students move into junior and senior year, the idea of class memorabilia becomes a topic that students might want to consider. For generations, class rings and letter jackets have been a symbol of high school pride. But are these items what every graduate still desires?
I just think class rings are stupid.
I like them. They're sometimes really expensive.
I think it's cool to get one because it'll be like a memory from high school.
Whenever you get out to the real world, like you wouldn't really wear your varsity jacket, you know?
I think that letter jackets is probably a little bit more exciting opportunity than class rings are anymore, but I think that they are still excited about both.
Throughout the years, there has been a significant decline in sales for rings and letter jackets.
Since I started in 1973, our industry has changed tremendously. When Jersey Village first opened, we sold, just an awfully lot of class rings and graduation products and letter jackets. Today, with the economy and with the accessibility of other products in the marketplace for young people, the interest in these products has waned a little bit, but we still see a great interest of students to have one or more of these products in high school.
Though you may or may not care for these items, they can be bought or earned all year round if you ever want to change your mind. This is Joy Travis with JVTV News.
It's the beginning of the school year, and the pressure of schoolwork is already pushing students to the limit. However, some believe that juniors are hit harder than others. Natalie Solano tells us more.
What do you think the hardest year of high school is? Is it your freshman year when you're adjusting to the school, or your senior year when you just want it to end?
Right now it's my junior year. Definitely junior year.
Junior year.
Junior year.
Junior year because I think the teachers are a bit more rigorous. The classes are as well. They're harder, more difficult type. They expect a lot more from you.
And that's the problem. Students are overwhelmed with the amount of work they have to do for the junior year.
It is a step up for many students. Junior year is also when your class rankings become extremely important for college. And, you know, that getting in that top 10% or top 8% to make the top schools is, you know, something that, you know, the top level students really have their eyes on.
In the junior year, students have a wide variety of upper level classes. These classes range from AP English to dual credit physics. Mr. Godey, a teacher of both AP and on-level history classes, knows the difference.
The breadth of the material can be handled by AP students, while L students tend to got to be more flexible, typically more understanding what their lives will allow for loading on curriculum.
They say your junior year is the hardest. Evidently, it's true. This year, juniors have their work cut out for them. Natalie Solano, JVTV News.
High school is a rite of passage. Middle school students look forward to a new level of independence. Alan Jaquez Orozco tells us why this generation of ninth graders is unlike any other.
The freshmen this year have a new innovative program in effect, Freshman Academy, a program for all ninth graders.
Freshman Academy was the idea to get all the freshmen kind of in one corner of the school to keep them away from upperclassmen. That way they can kind of transition into high school a little bit better and kind of get used to the high school experience.
Ninth grade teachers agree and are glad to be a part of JV history. The students, however, have a different view on this. Is the program here to stay, or is it just an experiment?
I think it's going to last a while. It's something that you really can't tell how successful it is after a year. So they're going to do it as long as possible and see what the numbers show in terms of test scores and tardies and behavior problems.
Will the Academy succeed? Alan Jaquez Orozco, JVTV News.
We'll be back with more on a new class that may change students' views on English literature. But first, here's a public service announcement by AJ Gonzalez. Be kind and courteous to this gentleman. Hop in his walks and gambol in his eyes. Feed him with apricots and dewberries, with purple grapes, green figs, and mulberries. The honey bag steal from the bumblebees.
Adara, what are you doing?
Well, Shane, I'm just reading for the new Shakespeare class. Isabella Herrera has a story.
To teach or not to teach, that is the question. Ms. Crocker has opened the doors for the world of Shakespeare for Jersey Village High School students.
I really wanted to have my theater program provide an education of Shakespeare that goes beyond what you learn in English, because Shakespeare wrote his plays to be performed, not read. And when you read them, they're boring. I don't even like reading them. But if you perform them and the actor is allowed the freedom to make choices, understanding what choices Shakespeare provides, because there are no stage directions in a Shakespeare play.
Many people shy away from reading or watching the famous William Shakespeare's works because they just don't get it.
Well, I joined because I thought it would help me with my English class, actually, because I knew we were going to read Shakespeare books, so I thought it would help me a lot. And I also love theater overall.
On the curriculum needs to go to some sort of process for it to become a class.
I look forward to practicing my acting skills and being able to join Theater 1 next year with a little experience.
Shakespeare's more than just a play. It's basically life. Isabella Herrera, JVTV News.
The health science class has captured the attention of many students here at Jersey Village. More and more people are signing up for this course. Claire Weinman tells us why this class is so popular.
Recently, a class to Jersey Village has risen in popularity. More and more students have applied to be part of the health science course to learn more about the medical field.
In the health science class, students take what they studied in the previous course, Principles of Health Science, and apply it to a clinical setting.
There is a 3-step process in health science. The first class is Principles of Health Science, where they learn about different careers and how the healthcare system works and anatomy and physiology and things like that. From there, students can go on to do Health Science 2, which is clinical rotations, where they get to go to the hospital and the assisted living facilities, and they get to shadow doctors and nurses and kind of see what the jobs are really all about. There's an application process, and they have to write an essay, and we look at teacher recommendations and grades and things like that.
After writing a really long essay, even crying a little, I cried when I wrote my essay, finally got in, so I was so happy.
Now that more and more students are enrolling in HSC, a new teacher has to be hired due to the rising popularity.
It makes them feel special, makes them feel important. They have a chance to do something that grown-ups do. You know, they're getting a chance to get real life experience.
Like, just getting to experience all this is wonderful. So much fun.
There we go. CPR certification and learning to master the skills that bridge to lots of career paths, such as anatomy and physiology, are just some of the benefits of taking HSC.
It really gives them the opportunity to see firsthand what the healthcare industry is like, and it allows them to see if that's something that they really want to do.
From joining the health science class with hard work, the students will gain perks and advantages as well as a good experience. Claire Wyman, JVTV News.
For students at JV, many are looking for ways to get involved and earn community service. Debbie Broussard told us about Interact, a club that makes this all possible.
Here at Jersey Village High School, there are students making a difference in the community, and one way to do this is through Interact Club. Each member in the Interact Club dedicates their time volunteering on different occasions. But why Interact Club when there are other choices?
I decided to join Interact Club from the other clubs because it's much smaller, so whenever you go there, the people make you feel welcome.
For one, you get service hours. That's the main benefit because, you know, when you're applying for college applications, they ask for service hours.
The community also benefits from this club when they receive volunteers that can help them during their events. Some of the events included were Walk to End Alzheimer's, where people at the walk would tell members if they lost one. Volunteers would give them a flower with their name on it. Also, the St. Max Fall Festival. Although they have many members, every day they are looking for more people to participate. This is a great way for JV students to get involved and help the community. Debbie Broussard, JVTV News.
We'll be right back to find out what's really going on in the JV parking lot. But first, here's a public service announcement by Isabella Herrera and Kim Tran.
Driving to school may be fun, but it can also be hazardous. Daniel Mulholland tells us more about the dangers of teen drivers.
Before and after school, the streets and parking lots surrounding JV are filled with student drivers, but how much of a risk do these drivers possess? Getting a driver's license and being able to drive to school is one of the milestones of personal achievement for any young teenager's life.
Honestly, it felt really good to get my license, just because I kind of get that I have that freedom now to do a lot of things that I couldn't before, and I don't feel like a burden to my family or my friends.
Students are glad to be able to use the school parking lots. However, students still remember how crowded the parking lots were last year. The problem has not completely gone away. Every morning and afternoon, the streets of JV are crowded with student drivers, possessing a risk to both themselves and the community. According to the Center for Disease Control, in 2009, 8 teens ages 16 to 19 died every day from motor vehicle accidents. Also, drivers most at risk are newly licensed male drivers with teenage passengers. So while a driver's license may be a great achievement, there comes a great amount of responsibility. Daniel Mulholland, JVTV News.
There's something about a football game that excites the entire community. Texans are familiar with the Friday Night Lights phenomenon.
You're right. It's an excuse to get out of the house and hang out with your friends. Tina Tong has a story.
Every week, JV comes together to see our team play with organizations like the band, Goal Dusters, and cheerleaders, keeping the crowd pumped.
Like some schools where they just sit down and mingle, that you actually feel the spirit.
With a variety of people from teens to adults, the weekly game unifies Jersey Village for a night to remember. With all the people and organizations together, it's no longer a football game. It's a social event. Tina Tong, JVTV News.
It must be really hard to be a firefighter. They live dangerous lives never knowing what's around the corner.
Did you know that we have 3 students in JV that are junior firefighters? Our very own Matt Beerwagen is one. He will answer our burning questions.
One cannot help but respect those courageous firefighters that daily risk their lives to take on such a job that takes enormous amounts of commitment and bravery. When someone talks about firefighters, what comes to mind is the image of that experienced person that can stay calm when the world is quite literally burning around them. What doesn't come to mind when someone says firefighter are high schoolers Jordan Marr and Joshua Macon.
I'm starting at a younger age, so I'm not maybe I'm not as maybe like experienced as other older firefighters.
I'm a third generation firefighter. It's something my family's been doing since the early 20s, so a lot of experience and history in my family.
As a member of the junior firefighters myself, we don't actually go inside burning buildings, but we still fight the fires.
Junior members assist the fire department as a support role within the department. They can go to all emergencies and assist in any way they can. They can actively participate in them, except for one, the structure fire. They can't go into a burning building. Anything that's on fire internally, they can't go into that yet, not until they turn 18 and they're graduated high school.
What most do not realize with the fire department is that most of the members, including Jordan and Joshua, do not get paid to do this.
Volunteering, I don't know, it just feels good to help people.
Matthew Beerwagen, JVTV News.
Up next is JV Walking, but first, here's a public service announcement by Tina Tong, Shane O'Neill, and Elizabeth Wells.
Here in America, we truly love our rights. The right to vote, freedom of speech, and choosing our own religion are just a few of these. But what about the right to bear arms? Is this right subject to change? Andrew Cordova has more.
Following the many mass shootings, gun control has been a big discussion in America. Although the gun control policy being made may affect people both nationally and locally. In many recent shootings, such as the one in Colorado, the suspect James Holmes used an AR-15 rifle with a 100-round drum magazine, categorized as a registered assault weapon. Many other shootings have had a similar story. With all this planned violence, many Americans feel the need for a reform for gun control. There have been plenty of policies created in hopes to solve the problem, but one in particular is the federal assault weapons ban.
the government would ban like these things called LCMs, which are large capacity magazines. For instance, if you look towards the James Holmes shootings in Colorado, had the ban been in place, he wouldn't have had like a 100 drum magazine, and it would have probably resulted in less people being killed.
Even though the policy being created seems beneficial, many studies show that the federal assault weapons ban has been ineffective.
Well, during the time span when the federal assault weapons ban was put into place between 1992 and 1996, there were 52 massacres, let's just put it that way, and only only 2 of them were actually committed with an assault weapon. The most used weapons in actually committing a massacre were arson and bombs. So, it should never have been put in place in the first place because there were only 2 mass shootings with assault weapons.
No matter how much violence takes place, gun control will always be a hot topic in America. With the upcoming election, we will see how the government responds to this violence.
We cannot and will not be passive in the face of such violence. We should be willing.
Andrew Cordova, JVTV News.
This next story is something all teens should be familiar with. Social media is everywhere. Right, Adara?
Oh, right. Muhammad Khan shows us how social media is changing lives.
We use the internet so much, we don't often think how things would be without it. We're so dependent on social media, we don't even realize it.
More than 1 billion people are users on social media sites. That's doubled since 2007. That's 1 in 13 people have a Facebook, and 72% of internet users have a Facebook, while 27% of teens use Facebook continuously.
I talk to my family overseas. I talk to my friends in other states. I communicate with my wife, my friends. So it's become very useful.
Well, I can't do homework because I can't concentrate because I'm like Twitter. And I can't really concentrate a lot, so Mom wants to punch me in the face every time I'm on Twitter.
With the rate of technology to connect us to the world, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, we have the advantage in our world to make it easy for us to access info easily with no sweat. Our generation, the age of phones, tablets, and touchscreens, whenever it's taking a picture with your friends or finding out the latest news, you can find it with a simple swipe of a finger. Muhammad Khan, JVTV News.
Now it's time for one of our most popular segments, JV Walking.
We'll be back with Falcon Sports Center, but first, here's a public service announcement by James Owens and Joy Travis.
Jersey Village High School football team has kicked into high gear. Expectations are higher than ever. It's playoffs or bust. Falcon Sports Center starts now. On a hot, humid day, the Jersey Village football team is working hard throughout the season. Each team member helps each other by encouraging one another.
Right now, we had a couple of, minor setbacks. We lost 3 district games in a row, but, win, lose, or draw, this is my team. I'm sticking with them, and we're going to do it together. So we're going to keep moving forward.
With another year of Jersey Village football, the team is looking to make some noise this year. Ranked 8th in the beginning of the season, the Fighting Falcons are looking to silence the critics.
But as we saw tonight, though, they can beat some teams and they can upset some teams. So definitely capable of upsetting and winning some games.
With returning varsity players like the quarterback Devontae Barlow, safety Latravian G, and wide receiver Jamie Parker, the Falcons are loaded with talent.
Definitely. If you look at Devontae Barlow, guys like him, a lot of people don't know a lot about him. I think this is his first year starting at quarterback. But guys like him, very talented. He's very, very quick on his feet. He makes plays with his feet. Very dual threat quarterback, and he can throw the deep ball, and he can make plays. Guys like that, kind of secret weapons. Latravian G, a lot of guys know about him. Will Benoit, guys like him, a receiver. He's very talented. This team they have some players who can sneak up on some people. So, that's some things opponents have to watch out for.
By adapting to the new norm, the players are required to meet high expectations in order to reach their goals.
They got to play together, believe in each other and have faith in what we're doing. And like we said, our motto for the year is all in, and tonight we were all in. We played well, did everything we asked.
Even with obstacles such as injuries, the Falcons keep their spirits high. No matter what the outcome of the season is, the Falcons are leaving it all on the field. Lathan, Washington, JVTV News. The Jersey Village volleyball team is in high spirits for this season. Every evening they are hard at work perfecting their game. Let's go to Keith the Hanks for the story.
Volleyball is a game of precision, agility, and most importantly, teamwork. At JVHS, the players pride themselves on their team spirit. The first freshman on the varsity team in a long while has stepped up to the challenge of being on the varsity team.
It's a lot of fun, and it's a great experience being able to play against seniors on other teams. I play club volleyball. I started when I was 12.
This will be Coach Snyder's second year working with the girls on the varsity volleyball team. The captains Kayla Overton and Lauren Greenspoon have played an important role on the team.
I think we've had our ups and downs. It's gone okay, not as good as we expected, but we've gotten better.
We've won some unexpected games. Like we had a great our 2 games against Creek, we won, and that was really unexpected.
The senior Chelsea Brown is leaving Jersey Village and the volleyball team this year.
I'm really sad because I played volleyball my entire life, so it's just leaving a part of me behind, but I'm really excited to go to college and see what it has in store for me.
The team will continue to grow and get better as they head towards the end of the season. Keitha Hanks, JVTV News.
Tennis seems to be overshadowed by many sports, but the truth is, tennis players work just as hard as many other athletes, especially in the classroom. Ellen Romero shows up the story.
Tennis, like many other sports, involves being quick on your feet and lots of practice during and after school. Although many of the tennis players enjoy the practice, a few other players can find it difficult to juggle school, tennis, and their social life.
I play tennis and I'm in AP classes, so I rarely have free time. Me and the varsity team captain, I have to stay positive, have to stay peppy.
Much like Christian, many of the tennis players are involved in AP classes, which we can only assume this makes it more stressful for many of the tennis players. Although tennis has been stressful, he also makes the most of it. It's
helped me do my homework, because there's a lot of people on the tennis team who are smart, so we all do our homework together sometimes.
Erlen Romero, JVTV News.
That's it for Falcon Sports Center. Back to you, Shane and Nadara.
Thanks, Lathan.
That's all for this newscast. JVTV is on Facebook and YouTube. Check us out on the links below.
For Adara Akpan, Lathan Washington, and the entire JVTV News crew, I'm Shane O'Neill. Thanks for watching.